What's up, ready, y'all? Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Rick Chow, Columbia, South Carolina. They found him not guilty. Oh, wow. I guess my shadow ban has been lifted. I get notifications now. Hang on, y'all. Hang on 1 second. Hang on 1 second. All right, yeah, we good. We good, y'all. All right. Rick Chow, Columbia, South Carolina. Here's what happened. 14-year-old kid. What was his name? Let me get the information here. Sorry, I should have had this ready before I started. All right. Rick Chow found now not guilty uh, for killing the 14-year-old kid. His name was Cyrus Carmack Belton. I'm sorry, I said Carmack. I meant Carmack Belton. Cyrus Carmack Belton. He was found not guilty for killing him. Let me go over the story really quick. 14-year-old kid, Cyrus, black American kid, goes into a Shell gas station to, I guess, purchase something. He goes into the store, he grabs a water, decides he didn't want the water, so he put the water back. He gets ready to leave the store. Now, he does have his hands in his Samuel Messier. Hello. We're going over the story. I'm not sure if you heard about it. Have you heard about the shooting of with Rick Chow and the black kid Cyrus? All right, I'm gonna finish the story. All right, okay. Well, you're in for something, right? I'm gonna go over the story. So, Rick Chow, Asian man, likely Chinese. He's the owner of a Shell gas station in Columbia, South Carolina. Yes, hello to you too. All right. Black kid, 14-year-old Cyrus Carmack Belton. He goes into the Shell gas station. He wants to purchase a water. He decides he doesn't want to purchase the water, so he puts the water back. This is all on camera. Well, the Chow family, it was Mr. Chow, his son, and his wife. I guess that was his wife. They were all following him around, of course. They always follow us around, but, they have reason to sometimes. And what happens next is they accuse him of stealing a water. They see his hands in his jacket pocket, right? So they're like, hey, you're stealing. He's like, no, I'm not stealing. The kid, they go back and forth. The kid decides, okay, I'm leaving. So he leaves the store. He gets around the corner of the store, of the building. The Chow family then runs out of the building, of the Shell gas station. They decide to chase Mr. Chow. For 140 yards they ran. And then Mr. Chow shot 14-year-old Cyrus Carmack Belton in the back as he ran away. Oh boy. So they had trial today. They had trial today, and the jury found him not guilty. They tried to charge him for murder. And here's where the problem lies. He got off. He was acquitted, found not guilty. Now, let's go over South Carolina. Of course, everywhere has a self-defense law. You have the right to preserve your life, the right to self-preservation, to defend yourself. That is a law here in this country. But some states have additional laws, such as stand your ground. South Carolina is a stand your ground state. But there are exceptions to every single law. There are statutes for every law. And the exemption for stand your ground or self-defense is imminent threat. Are you in any imminent threat? Did they assault you? Did you feel your life was threatened? Do you feel something bad was going to happen to you? Did they show any type of hostility towards you? Then yes, you get self-defense. Yes, you get stand your ground. And if someone is trying to harm you, yeah, go ahead, shoot them. I'm with it. I like it. Fight them, shoot them, whatever. Preserve your life. But in this case, that wasn't it. Because the kid was running away. And if someone is running away, no matter where you are, if you don't like the person, if you're arguing with the person and they walk away, the imminent threat is now gone. It's dead. You have no right to shoot or fight anyone who is retreating. They're running away. Now, Mr. Chow said in his defense that the kid turned back and pointed a gun at him while they were running. The problem is the video doesn't show that. The witnesses said they did not see that. That didn't happen. So we have video surveillance, we have witnesses, and we have evidence, physical evidence of Mr. Cyrus, the kid, of all of his belongings being on the ground. So on the ground, how can he point the gun at you if his gun, he lost it? Yes, the kid, the 14-year-old kid had a gun. Okay, we got it. There's no reason or way that a 14-year-old kid should have a gun, especially a loaded gun with a bullet in the chamber. Was that right? No, it wasn't right. He should not have had that. He should not have had that. They say he also did not have any money on him. So his intent was probably likely to steal, but then he decided that he wasn't going to steal. But whether he stole or didn't steal, that's not a crime punishable by death. That's the whole premise here. That's the entire thing. Now, let's go on to why the victims, the Belton family, lost their case. The victims, they lost because he got off scot-free. He got acquitted. They lost for two reasons. Number one, they hired that very emotional attorney. I don't know if that guy was court appointed. I don't know where they got him from. It was a white man for the victims. And for the Chow family, they hired a black man, of course, because they didn't want it to seem very racist, right? So my thing is this. Their attorney, he begins screaming at the Chow family. You shouldn't have, if you never left the gas station, there would be no shooting, right? Just screaming and screaming and screaming. You can't do that in a court case. You can't do that on trial when you have the guy taking the stand and you're interrogating him. You can't start screaming. You can't be emotional like that. You can't do that. But that's what he did. He began screaming like a maniac. That didn't look good. He didn't ask many questions either. He just kept saying, oh, so if you never leave the store, the shooting never happens, right? He just keeps repeating that over and over and over. That's not building a good case, sir. Number 2, they charged him with murder. The police said murder. Of course, you can try that one, but the attorney's job, the lawyer's job, is supposed to dig. You need to dig and find out every single charge you can find and lay it on them. That's how that works. But they didn't do it. He only chose murder. And they went over that in court. They were missing a bunch of charges. They could have gotten, what could they have gotten? I know they could have gotten voluntary manslaughter, involuntary manslaughter, which means one was with intent to kill, one was without intent to kill, which I think if they couldn't get him on murder, I think they could have at least gotten him on voluntary manslaughter, as well as maybe what was it, like violent firearm with a violent crime or something like that. They could have gotten him with those other ones, 100%. But they only went for one charge, which was murder. No, that was a horrible move. No, you don't do that. He knew that. And the family is so distraught, they probably didn't know or even attempt to even try to go for more things. Go for more charges. So I go looking into Mr. Chow's background, and I find out this is not his first time. I'm not shocked. They said there was a woman who stole from his store. She made it to her car, began to drive away. He came outside of the store and shot at that woman's car 6 times. 6 times. Are you crazy? In public? On a street? Oh my God. 6 times in public on a street. That's negligence. That's a complete recklessness. Could have gotten them with that, but nope, they said it was self-defense. That's not self-defense. You need imminent threat. And you also need it with a reasonable return of threat. So that means if someone punches you in the face, you can punch them back Or if they're hurting you very badly, okay, then it can escalate to a knife or a gun. If someone slaps you and you just come up and blow their brains out, you going to jail. They don't care if they hit you first, if they slapped you first. So after he shoots the woman's car 6 times as she's driving away in public on an open road, they let him go for self-defense. Then another time it happens where um, a man stole. A man stole from his store. Mr. Chow shot the guy twice. Mr. Chow again gets off with self-defense again. The guy who got shot went to jail. And I'm not too mad at that one. Because if the guy was inside of the store, I understand. Still in the store, you don't know what's going on, you shoot the guy twice. Okay, open and shut case. I'm fine with that one. But then we have Mr. Cyrus, the kid who was running away. Again, it's wrong for the kid to have the gun. But a kid having a loaded gun is not punishable by death, especially by the hands of a civilian. Mr. Chow is guilty, just not on murder. And the main reason they lost is because of their attorney, their lawyer. He got really emotional. He's screaming. He only went after one charge. He didn't get that one. He had no other stuff to fall back on. He did not do his due diligence. He did not check the record of Mr. Chow to bring up his past behavior and how he's been getting off with doing this for almost a decade now. Probably over a decade at this point. You can't just go around shooting people. You can't just do that. I can tell you right now, if any of us natural born Americans go around shooting people because we feel that they might be doing something wrong, your ass is going to jail. Black, white, don't matter. You're going to jail. You hear me, white people? You hear me, black people? You're going to jail. As a matter of fact, that guy, who's that racist guy? Chud the Builder, that's his name, Chud the Builder. He just went to jail for shooting somebody. Yeah, he was trying to claim self-defense. And it didn't work. Why? Because he initiated that shit. He said the black guy initiated it, but it wasn't true because Chud walked up to the black guy first. He's in jail for shooting. So something's going on. I don't know if the Chow family are recent immigrants, green card holders. I don't know what they are, but something's going on where average, everyday Americans, we are being held to a stricter view of the law than everyone else. Because I can tell you right now, if it was a black man or a white man, normal, everyday American, we'd be locked the fuck up right away. Now, this Chow guy, I don't know how he keeps getting away with it. I know the Asian people, typically Koreans, Chinese, they're in the inner cities, the ghettos. They set up shops there, and I've had several of them when I was growing up, and that's how they are. They follow you around. For some reason, they go to the worst, the most hostile areas in the inner cities. The most dangerous of black ghettos. The Asians always go there to set up stores. I don't know why they do this. I'm talking real ghettos, ghettos that I, as a black man, don't even go to. I don't even go in those areas. And every time I drive by, there is an Asian store there. I don't get it. I don't get it. When I grew up, we had Arabics. Arabics are pretty nice. They can be racist too, but they're pretty cool. Now the Asians, they're gonna follow you around. It don't matter if you're in the ghetto, rich neighborhood, it don't matter. They just love to follow you around. And it's usually the male is behind the counter and the female, typically the wife, she's walking up and down the aisles, breathing on your neck. I don't know why they do that. That's their setup. That's why usually if it's an Asian store, I don't go in there. I'll go to the white man's store. I'll go to the Arabic man's store. I like the Mexican store too. I'll go there. But Asian store, no, I don't go in there. Especially if it's Korean or Chinese. Hell no, I'm not going in that shit. Call me racist all you want. But me, I like to proceed with caution. Use preliminary precaution. I like to do that. Assess where I am, who I'm around. I try to guess your nationality or your lineage and say, okay, I know there's a likelihood of you thinking negatively of me or thinking that I might be stealing or something like that. There are ways to deal with this. All right, Timothy Taylor says they follow people like animals inside those stores. Are you talking about who is they? Is that the Asians or who? Because I can tell you this. I'm pretty cool with most other ethnicities in their stores. Now, I'm not going to say, oh, yeah, the Korean. Yeah, man, those are the ones. I'm telling you. I've been to Japanese stores. I've been to Filipino stores. I've been to Vietnamese stores. I've been to fucking, what's some other ones? Indians. I've been to Indian stores. They call me brother. Usually the Indians and the Arabics say I look like them. They call me brother. They're pretty nice. But when it comes specifically to Korean and Chinese, hell no. Nope, I will turn around and leave that fucking store. But the Koreans and the Chinese, those are the two ethnicities you will find in what I call the deep state ghetto. The most dangerous ghettos in America, you're always gonna find them Koreans. You from Chicago, Korean stores be on your hip like they're your lady. It's true. And tell me if I'm lying or not, brother. I'm from Virginia, and it's the same thing out here. And let me tell you, it's always the husband or the son that's behind the counter ringing up the stuff. And then it be this old Asian lady who's typically the wife. That's the one following you on your neck. Don't say one word. You at least think she'll say, hello, how are you? Nah, you don't get none of that. She just on your ass. Like, can I please buy my stuff? Ma'am, since you're here, can you, and they don't price tag anything. There are no price tags in the store. You pick up something and then they just make up a price at the counter. And since you following me around, tell me the price of this bag of chip. You ain't gonna be harassing me all day. And they're beginning to integrate. They're beginning to assimilate. So now you're beginning to see them working at, you know, more major corporations like Walmart, Food Lion, and they're beginning to take those same practices into these major chain stores. And I can tell you this now for black people. I don't know if white people get followed too. I don't know. But if you see one of these people like that, typically a Korean or a Chinese that's following you very closely, please report their ass. Call corporate, call HR, talk to everybody. Become a full blown Karen on their ass. Please do it. Mm-hmm. And our brother Timothy Taylor, he's say from Chicago. It's the same thing over there. So now I know after watching them West Coast movies, I'm on the Southeast. Timothy right here in the Midwest. So it's all over the country. They only act tough with teenagers and women. That's true. Because I got a little sister and she was a little scared to go. She would go buy her wigs and all that stuff. But the wig store were the Koreans, of course. So she tell me, you gotta go in the store with me. I'm like, why? And she say, because they like fucking with me. And I wanna see what they gonna do if you come in there with me. So I went in there with her. And we go in there. I tell you, they didn't say one word. I say, well, why you say these people mean to you? They haven't said one word. They seem pretty nice. And she said, it's because you're here. So I tell her, you got to reassess your values. You got to reassess your priorities. Why would you want to shop in a store where they mistreat you, where you feel threatened, and these are people of another race? They act like they don't want you here. So why do you keep giving them your money? Find a different store. I don't care if you got to go 3 blocks down. Go find another store. Because one day, all it's going to take, and I've seen this many times where if they feel like you're stealing, especially for black women, if they feel like you're stealing, the woman tries to trap you in the store while the man comes from behind the counter and beat up on the woman. Whether you are stealing or are not stealing, that's what they do. That's their setup. I can tell you right now, I'm not getting my ass whooped by no Asian man. That ain't happening. I'm not racist or anything. I'm just saying. All right. So, that's the thing, man. We gotta, us as black people, we gotta be honest with this now. We really don't have anything of our own. We don't have our own stores. We got little pockets here and there across the country, you know, like North Carolina, uh, Georgia, Mississippi, I guess. I wouldn't go there. But, you know, little pockets here and there. But the main thing is we really have to start getting our own. We need a black store. We need a common black store that's all across the country where black Americans can feel safe. Timothy says Koreans here in Chicago have beauty supply stores the size of grocery stores. Yeah, you don't know about the Koreans, the deals they made back during around World War II. Yeah, buddy. that was an industry that was given to them. It was given to them after World War II. They had deals. There's a reason why the Koreans and the Chinese and the Thai people, why they own all of the hair stores, the little neighborhood convenience stores, and the nail salons, because they had a deal where they imported a lot of that material, especially when it came to hair. It was given to them. That was their deal, and they were given the business loans to come in and have their stores. Just so happens that black women were very insecure about their hair because all the propaganda told them that their hair was ugly and their skin is ugly. So black women got insecure. They needed a product. They had a problem. They needed a product, so the Chris Rock movie exposed how they blackballed the black-owned beauty supply stores from getting distribution from overseas. Um, I haven't seen the Chris Rock movie. What movie is that? But it is true. Yeah, there were a lot of black-owned businesses a while back, and we were basically we got basically undercut by the competition. Now, I wouldn't say that's a race-based thing. That's just a conglomerate, a monopoly. We had our stuff that we were setting up. Koreans were coming in. They said instead of going through a middleman like the blacks, we can keep it in-house. So we can just come over there. We're coming over there now. We can set up our own shops. We could just do it like that. And that's what they did. And of course, black women, they love their hair and they don't care. Yes, they are willing to risk their lives for that hair. Once black hair businesses stopped manufacturing their products in the United States, gave Asians all the power. Well, that's always been an Asian thing. Like the makeup, hair, nails, that's always been Asian. Always. They just didn't, they got over here to the United States a little late, behind everybody else. So, although black people were getting their rights, we got our rights first, and then we helped them get theirs. They tend to forget that part. They already had their businesses that they wanted to start here, to bring their culture here. And the reason why black people, black Americans anyway, we had trouble starting a lot of businesses, we just simply copied what everyone else was doing because we did not have any history. We didn't have any culture because it was erased. So whatever we did know, number one, it was erased, and number two, what we could remember was then stolen. Typically a white person would just come along and say, okay, well, this nice. We'll be taking that. We're going to patent it, and we'll give you a little cut, or you can be the assistant, because it was illegal for you to own anything. Yeah. So that's how that happened. But that was back then, though, guys. That was history. Now we're in a place, in an era, where we can do whatever we want now. We can start businesses. We can collectively pull ourselves together. Let me see. Magic shave powder was invented in Chicago. Black people sold it to L'Oreal in the 1990s. Now magic shave powder will be discontinued. My point exactly. And that's the thing about the black inventions. Even things that we do invent, the black owner gets into the corporate field. They see those dollars from a deal. They build up a black demographic. It becomes successful. And then they say, well, I'm going to sell it now. The black man or black woman, they sell it. And then the corporation takes over. Now, after the corporation takes over is when you begin to have a lot of, a lot of issues with the product. Kind of like the perm stuff, right? They were saying that perm that black women use so much is linked to cancer. It's causing cancer in their with their hair product. All these years, all these decades, black women, damn near for centuries, they've been perming their hair. Ain't been no cancer. And all of a sudden now, it's causing cancer. So my thing is, we gotta start building our own, guys. We have to do it. We can't. I get integration. I get all this stuff, but it's just a little annoying every time you turn on the phone or the TV or the news and it's some new story about someone being shot or killed by someone of a different race because of some type of miscommunication or unfortunate accident. It's just so annoying. Like I wear dark clothes and typically some type of baseball hat, right? Or trucker hat. And I get followed all the time. I get followed. Yes, I'm a big black man wearing a hat. Why is that so dangerous? Why does that scare you so much? And I don't mind being followed. I get it that they have a job to do. But when I see you standing in the corner, we lock eyes, I wave, I walk. And then you decide, yep, he's the one I'm going to follow. That's where my problem comes in. Because out of all these people in the store, you want to follow the big black man, especially when I'm one of the only ones in that store because I drive all over the country. And everywhere I go, it don't matter what state I go to, it's the same thing. It's always a non-black person who decides, okay, him, black man, following him. Every single time. I just would like to see us come together as black people. And again, that kid was not in the right. He had a gun, walking in the store. He had no business doing that. But you carrying a gun illegally is not an excuse or is punishable by death. That is not... No. Not good at all. All right. Chicago police told me that all of us are criminals. That's why they have no conscience about violating our civil human rights. Well, sir, how old are you? Because let me tell you something. If the police tell you that, it's because they feel that you are too stupid to report them. You are too stupid to do anything about it. So if the police ever say anything like that to you, you go file a complaint report to his superior. You also begin to take this into civil court, or whatever you can do to find out what you can do to bring justice to that officer or those officers, whoever that is. And let me tell you, it's not just Chicago police as well. I'm sure you know this, but it's not just Chicago police. It's a lot of police. It's a lot of them. I'm not going to say most police, but there are a lot of them who feel that you are black, you are probably causing a crime. You are a criminal. Because that's the way that they are trained. And I'm not saying the police training academy is teaching them to be racist. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is people historically in this country, they've been trained by the media. They're not trained by schools. They're trained by what they see in the news. It used to be newspaper and radio. Now it's social media and film. That's what it is now. So when every time they turn on the news or their phone, social media, they're seeing a black person committing a crime. Although whites commit crime at 5 times the rate that blacks do. But you don't see the white crimes in the news. You don't see the white crimes going viral on social media. You don't see a bunch of movies about the white crime. You don't see it. All right. Timothy says, Chicago police did an illegal traffic stop to a black elderman and pastor and put guns to his head, and nothing happened to those police. Yes, that does happen a lot. That's why it's imperative that you know your rights, because the police they count on you. They are banking on you not knowing your rights, so they can trick you into giving them up and never questioning them. Like if you're in a car, right? You don't have any drugs, no nothing, but maybe you went 1 mile per hour over the speed limit. They pull you over and they say, hey, I'm going to write you this ticket for speeding, right? While you're at it, I want to check your car, okay? And if you say, okay, you just gave up your rights. You just gave up your rights. And now he can search your vehicle. Right? Like me, that happened to me too. I'm walking down the street. Now, it was very late. It was like midnight or 1 a.m. I'm going to a store. I was staying over at my buddy's house a long time ago. I was like, maybe 7, no. It was either 18 or 19. Long time ago. I'm walking to a 7-Eleven. I forget my ID. So I say, oh man, I left my ID. Let me go back and get it. So I turn around, I go back to my friend's house. In the middle of me walking, the hairs on the back of my neck start standing up. I felt like a chill on the back of my neck. I said, what is that? I turn around. There are two police officers, like maybe 50 feet away from me, guns drawn, screaming, put your hands up. So I put my hands up. I had headphones in my ears, so they were screaming. I didn't know they were screaming. I take my headphones out, and luckily they didn't shoot. They put their guns away. And he says, you didn't hear me? I said, no, I had my headphones in. What's wrong? And he goes, yeah, why did you stop going to the store? I saw you walking to the store, but then you turned around and you stopped. You decided not to go to the store. I think you saw me and then you changed your mind. I said, sir, I can't see anything. I wear glasses. You know, I can't see shit. You don't know that. You don't know why I turned around. I turned around because I left my ID. And he goes, well, we're going to search you. We're going to search you now. So they pull me over into this grass field. This guy's going all up and down my pants, grabbing on my balls, and up my ass crack and everything. Violating me in the middle of a grass field outside at 1 o'clock in the morning. And I say, why are you doing this? And he says, because we're looking for a known drug dealer and you look like him. Yeah, I look like the drug dealer they're looking for. I fit the description. Now, this was before, I think this was before Obama decided to implement the body cams, the mandatory body cameras. There were a lot of times I had guns pulled on me by police, and they had me in handcuffs and, you know, told me that I fit the description, but they never find anything on me. And this was when I was really young and I didn't know my rights. So yeah, they got away with it. And that's how a lot of the bad ones, the bad officers, now I'm not trying to scare you or make you feel that all police officers are bad, but, you know, there are some who want to violate your rights. And they hope that you don't know your rights so they can say really fucked up things to you and do fucked up things to you. So you have to make sure that you know your rights. You need to know what the police can do and what they cannot do. Because I can tell you now, if you are black, especially if you live in the inner cities, in the ghettos, the impoverished areas, those officers will 9 times out of 10 violate your damn rights. And they're going to say really fucked up things to you. So make sure you don't say shit. You ask simple questions. Find out their intent, what they're trying to do. Hello, officers, a nice day. Why did you stop me? Oh, okay. Oh, you want to search me or search my car? Well, sir, I don't consent to your search. Oh, you want me to get out of the car? Is this a lawful order, sir? If he says yes, okay, get out of the car. But make a mental note of every single thing that officer is saying to you. And I wish somebody told me that when I was a kid. Because, man, they put me in handcuffs so many fucking times every time I left the house. I was born 1990, okay? This was before body cams. So from 1990, first time I got put in handcuffs, I was what? I was like, what was I, like 9 or 10? I don't have a record. But man, they were trying to give me one. They threatened to give me one several times. I asked, for what? Why would you want to give me a record? Shut up. Shut up and give me your ID. That was it. I got put in handcuffs one time, and I asked, why am I in handcuffs this time? And he says, there's a funeral down the street. I don't know if he was saying that someone died through violence, or was he just being an asshole, just randomly searching me? I don't know. Well, that's what it was. So, just learn your damn rights. Learn your damn rights, especially if you're black. Learn your fucking rights. And don't allow them to violate you like they did me. All right? That only apply when the officers care about the law. The vice units will bust out your car windows if you don't obey their commands. Well, that's the point. You have to communicate with the officers. I don't care what division they are. I don't care if it's a bounty hunter. You don't know who's who. If they give you an order and they just say get out of the car, hurry up, be precise, and ask them, is that a lawful order, sir? Just really quick, is that a lawful order, sir? And they're going to have to answer you yes or no. If yes, do it. Get out of there. Let him know, hey, okay, I'm getting out. And then you get out. If he says no, and you say, oh, it's not a lawful order, okay, then I choose to stay in the car. Now, if they decide to say, get out of the car, and you say, is that a lawful order? And then he busts out your window or punch you in the fucking mouth, well, guess what? You have a court case. A civil one. Where you can sue the city, and the city has to pay. I've seen that one go for anywhere from $35,000 upwards to $100,000. And let me tell you, you live in Chicago, and I assume, I don't want to offend you, but I assume it's the poor side of Chicago. You understand me? It's the poor side of Chicago, which means you might use that check, you know? You might need that money. I'm at the point now where I've been watching enough of these videos. I've been watching enough of the movies, the laws, and actually reading some of the statutes and laws where I would love for something crazy like that to happen to me now, like it used to happen to me before the body cameras. I would love for something like that to happen to me. I'd be rich. I'd be a millionaire by now. Oh my God. I would let that officer whoop my ass so bad just so I can limp into the court right in front of the judge, neck brace and everything. Have that little cast on my arm. Officer, judge, that officer, he beat me bad. I can't walk, I can't talk. I just don't want to live no more. Guilty. He is guilty. Judgment for the plaintiff. Hell yeah. I'm waiting on that shit. Anyway, Brother Timothy, please give me a like and a subscribe. I would like to hear more about your stories. You seem to be a wise man. I would love to chop it up with you at another time, but I gotta get at least a little bit of rest. I gotta wake up pretty soon. All right, buddy. I'ma holler at you. Take it easy. Be safe. Go study them laws. Protect your rights. And obey the law. Have a good one.